Babies pass through a range of what we call states during their day. They have wakeful states, they have sleep states, they have crying states. In their wakeful state, you'll see them looking alert and looking around and being really engaged and active, and other times you'll see them, they're alert, but they're very quiet. They're quietly looking around. They're just not quite as active. Other times you'll see them, they're drowsy. They're really just ready for the next stage, which is sleep. Other times they may be crying. And these are all different states they will pass through during the day. Some more than others, some of those states more than others. So when a baby is crying, let's think about when a baby is crying. The communication they go through, what we call crying, can be quite confused. Sometimes when a baby's just grizzling, we interpret that as something's terribly wrong, and it's not always. They're just vocalizing, they're just grizzling, they're just working through something. Could be a little burp, could be something, they just have a little grizzle, and it passes. And you don't really have to do anything. You don't need to do anything to help them move to the next state. But sometimes they'll grizzle and that grizzling becomes more intense and they're unable to calm down. That's when they need you. So a little grizzle is something a baby can just grizzle a little bit and grizzle and it's okay. But when it's continuing or it's getting more, it's escalating, what we call escalating, then we know that it's time for us to intervene because they're not managing it for themselves. If a baby is grizzling and the grizzling is becoming increasingly intense, just go to them, offer them some support. And I'll talk about calming babies shortly. But right now, we need to differentiate between what's a little grizzle that they can manage and what's a big cry. And a big cry is so obvious. It's that big lusty cry, their little tongue waggles, they're all red in the face, and they're really, really, really emotionally aroused. They're really struggling. At that point, they do need help. Babies are not, in that first 3 to 4 months of life, babies are simply not able to calm themselves down. They need someone to help them. And the more they experience that assistance to calm, the more they'll be able to learn, little by little, to master that ability to calm when they are feeling less than happy. So in those first 3 months, it's really important, 3 to 4 months, it's really important for us to respond to our babies when they cry because we know they cannot calm themselves. As they get a little bit older, they become more able to calm themselves from what they've already learned, from what you've helped them with. But still, they require our support. And when people say they expect their babies to self-soothe and self-regulate by a certain age, just keep in mind there are many, many adults, when they're distressed, still have difficulty self-regulating. So be very mindful of what is a realistic expectation of your tiny baby.